Hello everyone, I'm Lane with Gap Enterprises Incorporated, and this is an instructional video on how to install one of our Gap Enterprises finger rest extensions on a full-size Glock 17 magazine. Now, there's many ways to skin a cat, but we found the most effective and efficient way to install our finger rest extension on a magazine requires a couple tools. They're very simple tools. First tool would be this small mini C-clamp. It's about $2 at your local hardware store. Second is a 5/32 punch. A set of these is about $10 at your local hardware store if you don't have any around. There's other tools you could use, however, this is probably the most effective, and if you don't have it, you might want to buy it because it's just good to have around the house, especially with gunsmithing and working with firearms. So, once you have your tools, let me give you a tour around this magazine really quick so you can know what I'm talking about. We have the stock base plate with a small detent pin here in the bottom. If you flip the magazine around, you'll see there's some small tabs here and here. If you can't see them on the video, no worries, you can see it at home in person, but there's small tabs that help keep the base plate locked onto the end of the magazine. These will also engage the Gap Enterprises floor plate once you get it on. So you take your magazine and the back side of the magazine and you place it in the C-clamp as such, towards the back of the C-clamp, and you just put a little bit of pressure. You do not need a lot of pressure on this. In fact, if you put too much pressure, it'll cause the internal floor plate to bind up and you won't be able to get the magazine, or get the stock base plate off. Once you have the magazine just a smidge on there, take your 5/32 punch, place it inside the detent pin and depress slightly. I might need to back mine off just a little bit actually. Depress slightly and just put some really easy downward pressure to break the stock base plate free. Once it's broken free, you'll notice I didn't remove it all the way. Go ahead and take your C-clamp off, set that aside, keeping your thumb to the rear of the stock base plate, push it forward. It just takes a slight amount of pressure, not a lot. Keeping your thumb over the end of the magazine so the internal base plate doesn't go flying. Take your stock base plate, put it to the side, and if you like, you could release the spring. I'll just show you guys for the sake of the video. This is what the internal base plate looks like. So once you have that, take the internal base plate, place it back in the magazine just using your thumb. Doesn't take a whole lot of pressure, using your thumb just to keep it in place. Take the Gap Enterprises finger rest extension, using the notches in the rear, line those up with the notches on the magazine. Once you get past the base plate, it'll stop at those two tabs, and then all you do is apply some really light rearward pressure until you feel it lock into place, and when it locks into place, you know it's secure. Now, a couple of items of note. For the sake of this video, I used a full-size magazine, and I felt it was easier to see on the video. However, our most popular finger rest extension goes to the subcompact Glocks. Now, when you install it on the subcompact Glocks, for whatever reason, probably due to the spring tension of the magazine, it's going to require a little bit more elbow grease when you're using your 5/32 punch to push the stock base plate off. So you might just have to play with the adjustment of the C-clamp a little bit before you get it off. Secondly, when you load this up, you'll notice that the detent pin popped right in. That's 90% of the time that'll happen. If for some reason it doesn't on your Gap Enterprises finger rest extension, simply apply a little bit of forward pressure on the tip of the extension, and if that doesn't lock into place, just load the magazine and that will lock into place every time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the instructional video of how to install a Gap Enterprises finger rest extension on a full-size Glock magazine.